Hello, everyone. Thank you for being a part of this training. My name is Alina Atkins, and I am the Accreditation Program Coordinator for Marshall's College of Business. As you all know, the Brad D. Smith Lewis College of Business is AACSB accredited. This training will be about what information we need from AOL faculty in order to conduct the results AACSB is looking for during their examination process. This slide represents what is being assessed from BBA and MBA core classes. PLO stands for Program Learning Outcome. These PLO assess student learning on the skills and knowledge we think is most critical. They are mission aligned. The BBA assessment consists of 6 PLOs or categories that are evaluated. PLO 1.1, Written Communication, PLO 1.2, Oral Communication, PLO 2.1, Core Knowledge, PLO 3.1, Critical Thinking, PLO 3.2, Quantitative Skills, and PLO 4.1, Global Issues. On the right, you will see the MBA assessment consists of 4 PLOs. PLO 1, Integrative Business Knowledge, PLO 2, Critical Analysis and Thinking, PLO 3, Ethical Leadership, and PLO 4, Global Understanding and Skills. This slide explains who teaches an AOL assessment course at the college level. Here, you can see that anyone who teaches a core BBA and/or MBA course conducts an AOL assessment. We will remind you when we email the schedule at the beginning of the semester and several times during the semester. Here is an example of one of the rubrics. Each assessment, except core knowledge, has a rubric and will all be slightly different. The traits are in the rows and the columns represent how the student did on the trait. While the titles to the columns might vary from program to program, they are basically scored at 1 to 4 points, 4 being the highest. For example, the rubric shown is for the MBA classes that pertain to integrative business knowledge. The rubric traits for this rubric is to understand and use disciplinary knowledge and skills to integrate disciplinary expertise across functional areas. The columns explain what each score indicates. When you assess a student, you will circle their score for each row. We do email you the rubrics. However, if you want to find them again, here are the steps to find them via Blackboard. Simply go to mymu.marshall.edu and select the Blackboard icon. On the left side, you should see College of Business AOL Task Force. Click on that. On the left side, you will see a green bar with the word Rubrics. Simply click on that and you can select either BBA or MBA rubric. This slide explains what classes are part of the BBA and MBA AOL assessment. It is all the core courses. If you teach one of these, you are required to conduct an AOL assessment. This slide represents all we need from each class that is represented in one or more of the 6 PLOs. The first is a copy of the assignment instructions. Second is a copy of a few graded student submissions. Third, we need each individual student's rubric scores. Fourth is an optional summary. And lastly, we need explanations and comments about performance. When submitting these materials, it is very important to keep all class sections separate. If you have 2 or 3 classes that are a part of the same PLO being assessed, please do not combine the sections. You can use any type of assessment: papers, homework, problems, case write-ups, exams, etc. Here is an example of what we mean for a copy of the assignment instructions. For example, if you are representing PLO 1.2 oral communication, we would need the instructions you gave to your students about the presentation they were giving. For another example, on the right side, you will see a photo of an assignment for PLO 3.1 Critical Thinking. You can include a copy of the rubric with your assignment so students can see the expectations. If you use multiple choice exams or quizzes, there must be at least 5 questions for each trait. This minimum number of questions will enable you to assign the range of 1 to 4 scores for student performance. It will give us more reliable information. We understand that when grading assignments on Blackboard, you cannot write on the assignments, but you can always communicate the scores these students receive via email. We only need 2 to 3 graded student assignments, and optimally, they should cover a range of performance. The third item is the rubrics. There are 2 ways in which you can send your students rubric scores, by printing and scanning or by an Excel sheet. This slide shows what we would need from each student in that class if printing and scanning. Simply mark on the rubric page what the score is that the student received for each trait. Then scan all student graded rubrics to atkins1041@marshall.edu. This email will be presented again at the end of today's training. This slide shows the format if you want to use Excel. This type of format is available on Blackboard. As you will see, this rubric is set up differently than the rubric I explained earlier. However, it contains the same information. The columns in this rubric are the traits, and each row represents a student. You simply enter the score for each student in the appropriate row and column of the spreadsheet. It will automatically calculate totals and summaries. Here is how you can access the templates. Simply go on Blackboard, select College of Business AOL Task Force, then on the left side of the screen, you should see a green table. Click on Rubrics. Once you have done that, you will see the BBA and MBA rubric folders. Click on those, and the last item in those folders will be the AOL assessment templates for either BBA or MBA. This is the optional summary assessment, which summarizes the results of all students in that course. Simply add up how many students in the class received a 1, 2, 3, or 4 for each rubric trait. There is also a summary assessment template below each BBA and MBA PLO rubric trait in the Excel template. Please also send us any explanations or comments you have as to why you believe your students altogether did well or poorly via the assessment. Below are some examples of explanations and comments you might have, but remember, these are only examples. The more information you provide here, the better we are able to improve the assessment process and student learning. On this slide, we have an example of all the information we need for AACSB in one link file. Please feel free to view this file to see all that it contains. We truly appreciate all you do as a professor and AOL faculty member. We know gathering all this information can be time-consuming, but it really is needed for our accreditation. If you have any questions, please email atkins1041@marshall.edu. Thank you and have a great day.